Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be a guinea pig shed and cage tour, and there have been so many changes in the shed over the past few weeks, so I'm very excited to show you the finished result. So here's the front of the shed. As usual, we have the beware of the guinea pig sign, we've got these locks and bolts here and a little weight at the bottom here. If I open this, we have nothing on the back door but a thermometer, lucky horseshoe at the top there, and of course the mesh door with my little Welsh sign d.i.y, and then we've also got a little bolt here. And this is what the inside of the shed looks like. So for those of you that don't know, because you haven't seen my vlog yet or you don't follow me on Instagram, I finally decided to bond my 3 guinea pigs who live down here, so I had a neutered male and 2 females, and my 5 females who lived in this top cage here, into one herd of 8, and it went so successfully. Then we attached the ramp so that we have all 3 cages, and all the bonding process and making everything is all in my vlog if you haven't seen it already. So we did all of that. We also redecorated, we painted the floor and touched up a few areas that needed kind of cleaning up and clearing out. I also cleared out the shed, got rid of a ton of stuff that I don't use anymore and replaced them. Either replaced them if they needed to be replaced with better or smaller items, or I just completely gave them away or sold them and so on. And the shed's looking so much better. It looks cleaner and clearer, and the guinea pigs are all happy in their one big cage. So what I think I'll do is I'll give you a shed tour first and show you everything in the shed, and then I'll show you the cages and give you a cage tour of the whole cage. I've got a habit now of saying cages, so it's cage now, 1 cage rather than 3 cages. But this is the back door of the shed. So at the top of the door I have this hanging heart here and a shelf. I've got nothing on the shelf yet, which is unusual. I've managed to contain everything so much that I don't need it at the moment, so that will be for something in the future most likely. And down the side here I've got a bottle brush. These are the keys for the door and the lock. I've got scissors, a little potato peeler that I use with veg sometimes, and then I also have my brush here. You know I like my lights in the shed, but they were starting to get messy being on these hooks here, so I've permanently attached these lights. You can't see them very well, but you can kind of see them, and they go all the way along, and they're called carnival lights. I got them from B&M Bargains, and they look really good in the night, and it just gives enough light, and they're all colourful and everything. So I have a light on either end of the shed, and these 2 hanging toys just hanging in the middle. Just here we've got my 3 drawers, and I've swapped them all around as well to make more space. So in the top drawer we don't have first aid items anymore. I think this looks much neater. I've got all of my cozy items, so a lot of things that I make. These are mostly for things that, like the bed, they go on top of the bed. I've got a couple of hay bags there that I've made. In the second drawer I have my food box, pond fish food, my treats for them, my veggie buckets, and my spare bowls and dishes. And in the bottom drawer I have my usual toy drawer, and just here I used to have all my fleece items, but now I've managed to get things that didn't fit in there before. So I've got 2 more spare bowls, I've got some puzzle playground pieces there to make houses, this interactive toy, and the little hay cupcake just there. And just next to the drawers I have this plastic pig glue and some little steps that I also use as a little hidey house for them. Above those items I have my shed heater, and above that I have my tortoise enclosure. And this is what the tortoise enclosure looks like. Now just on this section here, this is where the tortoises sleep. I have this little playpen that I used to use in my gerbils, but I've just put it here because I thought it might come in handy if I want to contain them to take photos or anything, so I've put it there. And I've also got my switches and things for the tortoise enclosure. Just next to the switches I've got 2 hay feeders. I also have a couple of Christmas toys there hidden just because I won't be using them. And this toolbox here is now my first aid box. Now I'll be doing a separate video on that, but everything I need, including grooming items, are all in that box. And just underneath this section of the cage I keep all of my spare hidey houses. So I've got my bus, my castle, my bed, and a little pig tent there. I just have them on this little red mat. To the door here we've got these 2 shelves. We've got this one with hay rollers on, and this one with all of my books and radio. So going along this way I've put a few things on here. These little wire pieces here are actually for fleece items. You kind of put them over the wire thing and they hook over the side and make a little bed and level. I have a hay feeder here. I'm a bit cautious of using this now because I've seen a post on Facebook where a guinea pig was unfortunately killed by one of these because they got their head trapped. So that's something I'm not going to be using unless it's supervised now. But I also have this hay roller here and a little hay cart just here. Over on these two shelves I've got all of my plastic small pig loos and all of my jingle toys just there. And then to the left here we've got all of my plugs that help with the lights. I've got my CCTV camera there and a pen back there. I've got my pet safe disinfectant. Above here I've got my two travel cages, so my smaller one and my slightly bigger one. And then to the left here I've got my bronze play button. That's another story, it's a charity made one and I've just hung it there because I thought it looked nice. And just on this side of the wall I've got my LBSZ, that stands for Lubu Shih Tzu. Down here near the door again we've got my foldable metal run, and it's also got a sunshade wedged in. I thought it made sense to have it with it, and I don't really ever use this. I just keep it as a spare just in case, and it's pretty quick to get out, so if I ever wanted to use it I could get it out quite quick. But generally I just use my DIY wooden one, but you never know. With that I keep some of my brushes. And finally I will now show you the cage. So there's not really a theme with it, I've just kind of put it however I want. I'll kind of grow to know where I want everything, but so far I'm treating this area like a food area. So I have got a food bowl in that corner there. It's not really quite big enough. I've been using 2 food bowls to split the food off and split the group off when they're eating, but for now I've just got one there. I've got the water bottle here and 2 hay racks. I got rid of the third because I thought it would look a bit much here, and 2 hold just enough, and I've got another hay rack, a different one down on the other cage at the end, so that's how I've kind of divided the hay. But I've just got 2 here side by side. They also have a little toy in this section, and the bedding I'm using is Megazorb. And over here I've got this little tub I got from Poundland, and I've just put one of my homemade little pillow pads in it, so I thought it'd make a nice cosy sleeping area for them. And here I have 4 of my guinea pigs. I've got Pumpkin at the end there, Casper, Dolly, Teacup's just left, and Radish was about to come in but she's just changed. So now I'll show you this section of the cage. I do like that we've kept these dividers in because it's so easy to put my little door in for cleaning and if I ever need to split them up for medical reasons, so it's so handy. So going through to here, in this corner here we've got some toys. So we've got a jingly toy just here and 3 of my DIYs, so a giant donut, a Battenberg and a bourbon biscuit. Just over here we've got this DIY seesaw. This is my weak saw, and they actually genuinely use this. They really like it, so I decided to put it in for them just to play with. Pumpkin in particular really enjoys it, so I put it at the back. I've got a hanging toy, and just next to that I've got 2 Fiddlesticks bridges just side by side just there, and another water bottle. Over down here we've got this door. We're yet to attach pieces to it to make the little door slide in that I can use to also divide this off. We've got their ramp just here, and to help Casper because he's elderly we've put a little step here so that it's not steep or anything. This can actually be lifted up, it's on a hinge and can be hooked there if I need it to, and the little level we've made is completely waterproof and it is actually also a little hidey house, so they can use that too. They've got a toy in this section, and this is what I meant about the other hay rack. So this used to be one of those rabbit hay racks, but it was so awkward. I found the ears on it really awkward, and seeing as I do have 8 guinea pigs, I kind of wanted it to look more guinea pig themed rather than rabbit themed. So we cut the ears off and cut them down into guinea pig size ears, and then it fits perfectly under here, which it didn't beforehand, and it's also easier to store now. So I really like it. You can see Sooty's clambered into there and she's eating the hay in there. And then all they have in this section is this carrot chew toy and a chain chew toy over there. I don't really need to put any hidey houses here. I probably will from time to time, but they tend to all sleep under here as a herd because it's sheltered by this top cage, so they feel protected, and they generally just use that as a hidey house and all sleep there together. That is finally my one big cage for all 8 of my guinea pigs. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing this video. Everything is DIY, and for those of you that don't know, the actual shed is also DIY. You can see this side here is actually the side of our house. Everything's homemade, including most of the toys and items in the cages, and the guinea pigs seem so happy in it. I can't wait to start doing themes. Themes are going to be so much harder because I've got all this space, but so much funner, and hopefully will look so much better as well. The guinea pigs have been so happy since being in this large cage rather than being split off, and they've obviously got a lot more company as well. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to give it a thumbs up, share with anyone you know, and subscribe if you haven't already. I do all pet videos themed on mostly my guinea pigs, but also my tortoises, with DIYs, lots of DIYs. I make a lot of DIY toys and things. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.